My own personal view is that sustainable leadership over the coming decades is not necessarily going to be about coming up with the right answers. It's going to be, first of all, about asking the right questions, questions about how we reconcile human systems with natural systems. And more than anything else, I think it's going to be about empowering other people to lead. Especially in the context of Asia and in the work of the Asian Development Bank, there are so many important partnerships in this region for this transition to sustainable development. Partnerships between different governments, national governments, local governments as well, partnerships with civil society, and also involving the private sector. So I think what I would really like to see in terms of leadership is the development of a skill set amongst ADB staff where they feel empowered to go out and build these partnerships and develop the types of coalitions that we're going to need to transition to low carbon development. So I think the first key message that I want to try and share today is to help people recognize that climate change is real, the science is unequivocal, the trends are accelerating, and that this is truly human-induced. I think we need to start the week with that common understanding. The second thing I'd like people to understand is that what we're talking about here is possibly the most ambitious undertaking in human history. We're talking about transitioning to a low-carbon economy at a time when the financial and fiscal constraints around the globe are quite severe. So getting from where we are now to where we need to be in the next 2 decades is going to be extremely challenging, and we need to be up for that challenge. But in being ready for that challenge, we need to recognize that there are many, many good examples out there already throughout the region that can provide a guide as to how we can get there. And I think it's important to understand that. Third message I'd like people to grapple with this week is that vulnerability is not just about exposure to a risk. There are many, many parts of the world that are exposed to sea level rises or extreme weather events, but they're not vulnerable because they have the governance structures, they have the financial resources, they have the knowledge resources to deal with these risks. That's very different to parts of this region that don't have those resources and adaptive capacity. So one of the things I would like people to take away from this learning this week is that we must work on building people's capacity and resources to deal with those risks, and that means understanding that certain parts of the population are more vulnerable than others and really need interventions more urgently than others.